Finally speaking tonight is quite literally the producer of all this, my dad, David.
They seek him here.
Not yet. Whenever we ask people what they enjoyed or remembered about my Barmitzvah, which was, might I add, 4.5 years ago now, everyone is still saying to us, David's speech, or that speech about fish. Clearly, my dad's speeches have quite an effect on people, so I'm sure most of us here, myself included, are looking forward to this one. Ladies and gentlemen, prepare yourselves for a speech full of wit, pun, and thanking. Allow me to introduce the last, but certainly not least, speaker tonight, my dad, David.
Never swell. It will make or break him, so he's got to buy the best, 'cause he's a dedicated follower of fashion. And when he does his little rounds round the boutiques of London town, eagerly pursuing all the latest fads and trends, 'cause he's a dedicated follower of fashion. Oh yes he is. Oh yes he is.
Wow. What a build-up. Everyone. Just over 2 years ago, Michael and I were walking home from Shull. A couple of good fellas, without a care in the world, possibly because I'd had two for the road in Kiddish. Then the fact that the bar mitzvah was fast approaching and that we were a couple of absolute beginners dawned on me. When do you want to start learning for your bar mitzvah? I said to Michael. Well, Dave, he said, let's have a gentleman's agreement to start in about 6 months. So after that brief encounter, and having made our commitments, somewhat clueless, it sort of went quiet on the Western Front for a while. We took what you might call a Roman holiday. Then we started learning together. That was with me as the captain of the Ship of Fools, the absent-minded professor, if you might say so. It wasn't until a few months later that I realised that Wallet and Gromis fashion we'd learnt the wrong trousers, the wrong haftorah. A bad day at Blackrock indeed. I prepared to tell Michael the unbelievable truth. I was a little breathless. Was this a bridge too far? Like a cat on a hot tin roof. I waited for Cool Hand Luke over there. What a cliffhanger. But for a brave heart like Michael, especially when he realised it was the shortest haftorah of the lot, it was the big easy. C'est la vie, he said. Tout va bien. So Michael and I settled into a pattern of learning together on a Shabbos afternoon. As you heard earlier on, we did explore every possible meaning of the word machlokus, from full-on Apocalypse Now, the Battle of Britain, to Die Hard, the Abyss. Sometimes it felt like the madness of King George. I certainly wanted to cry in the dark. I have to say, however, that in terms of parenthood, educating Rita, or Michael in this case, he turned out to be the natural whose basic instinct for this kind of learning was very impressive. I was bedazzled. Now, I have to say again, that is probably in no small part, indeed in large part, due to his teacher, the quiet man for all seasons, Rabbi Sufrin, for whom there is no mission impossible. And I want to add my thanks to Michael's for setting him on the path to glory. As today approached, it did feel a bit like a year of living dangerously. And I was constantly reminded by members of the family that you can't take it with you, and that for a fistful of dollars we could have a real fiddler on the roof. or the entertainer, or celebrate with going around the world in 80 days. I may have been frantic at times, but for me it's been shaping up as to be the greatest show on earth. So if Bar Mitzvah is a kind of Independence Day, Michael began his over a month ago when he shared a little of his friend Ben Meyerson's limelight by putting on his tefillin with Ben for Michael the first time at the Kotel Ma'arivi. That was a truly inspiring experience, and I really want to thank Debbie and Nick for allowing us to share in that experience and giving us another excuse to be in Israel at the same time as having an excuse because Jennifer was there on tour. As some of you may have heard, enjoying a cavalcade of events. With no luggage, she had to rely on the comfort of strangers. Later on in the trip, it was a particular privilege for Michael and I to sit in Independence Hall on a day actually when there was a Taglit tour there, and we both reflected on the advantages we had to be able to sit there as father and son and participate in that. Where is he? Michael, I'm talking to you. So, Michael, so you're a big boy now. I always knew you'd do the right thing, that you would stand and deliver. You showed a touch of class, both laning on Monday and in Shul on Shabbat. Certainly, as far as I could see from the ladies' gallery, it was a time to préparer vos mouchoirs. Get out your handkerchiefs. She knew. She knew. You made it look like 5 easy pieces. You're my music man, my golden boy, my local hero. One of his favourites, actually. There can be no greater glory for a father. And I love you. Well done. Now, let's talk about women. Lay girls. I mean, those two heavenly creatures in my life. Hello, Dolly. Folks, here are 2 or 3 things I know about her. She's a Wonder Woman. She shows the true grit to organise a wonderful jour de fête this simple. I love her truly, madly, deeply. She's my cover girl, my pretty woman. She has a touch of class, and she's my favourite wife. She's shared 23 years of a dangerous liaison with me. Most of them, in fact, I would say all of them, for me have been days of wine and roses. I know I've sometimes made them a little shop of horrors for you. But darling, if this is as good as it gets, babe. Then I just want to say that it's a kind of loving that's been for me La Dolce Vita. And now, a little girl who lives down the lane. As a toddler, as we've heard, watching you run, you never walked, reminded us of the Charge of the Light Brigade, or perhaps Juggernaut. Now, you're a little princess. You've always had such a blithe spirit, but with a die-hard commitment to your studies. I don't know why you had such high anxiety over your GCSE results, which were, of course, outstanding. And now, I'm looking forward to driving Miss Daisy, as you learn to drive. Anyway, I think we'd agree, you couldn't have been city slicker tonight in sharing. You made it look like easy living. Well done. I love you. You look wonderful. Yeah. What else? Well, what about our very own Sunshine boys and girl over there, Louis and Zach and Lauren? Thank you for helping out with Alim Zvirot and with the Loyal Toasts. Well done to all of you. This simcha would not be complete without this lovely Suda Mitzvah. And it's true that some of the simchas I've been at have been a bit more brimstone and treacle than a taste of honey. I think this evening has been a veritable Babette's feast, and thanks to all who prepared and served it. And now we come to the major and the minor. The minor is, of course, our lovely little Lauren, who turned 3 on Friday. And the major is our very own sweet bird of youth, Shelley Fingers, who turns today. So we do have some little birthday cakes, and hopefully they will arrive now. I'd like you to join me in the traditional song. Yes? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Lauren and Jelly. Happy birthday to you. Of course, if I had a million, or it rained pennies from heaven, when Adele comes to see The Colour of Money next week, it would not be the crying game. I don't, but thanks to the generosity of my brother Daniel, who hosted us on Friday night, it won't be so much of a journey into fear. I'm not planning to be down and out in Beverly Hills. It was a wonderful evening, Daniel, and thank you very much. No Decent Film, of course, is complete without a second unit. And in this case, as we've noted, the second unit's been led by Michael Wattle and Auntie Ruth from Netanya. We're delighted they could be here, along with the international globe-trotting branch of the family, Johnny, Debbie and Alex. Wonderful to see you. Well, you'll be pleased to hear that I'm about to wind up as we approach Howard's End. You can escape from Alcatraz. It will soon be time for you to perhaps put on your red shoes and say to someone, "Shall we dance?" I know it's high time this runaway train came to an end, and I perhaps did some dirty dancing. I hope you don't think it's been too much of a cabaret, and there might be some applause. We want to thank you for coming, and I hope you all have a stupendous time from now until the last waltz. The best way I can think for ending this speech is to turn into
The Invisible Man.